Hello and welcome to another session of MCQs on basic macroeconomics. Today it is our session number 10 and the topic is injections and leakages in the three sector model. We discussed the injections and leakages in the two sector model. Now in this session we'll be talking about injections and leakages in the three sector model of circular flow of income, obviously. Now let's move to the first question. The first question is the impact of leakages, on the volume or value of circular flow of income is. So what is the impact of leakages on circular flow of income? So the options given are reduction, that is it reduces the circular flow of income, its volume or value. It increases the value of circular flow of income. It may either increase or decrease the value of circular flow of income, or none of the above. The three are not the right options in this case. Now we know that in the circular flow of income, it is the income which moves between different sectors of an economy, and if a part of that very income is diverted to something else, it is taken out, okay, then there will be reduction in the circular flow of income, it is volume or value. For example, if we have $100 moving in circular fashion between different sectors, then a part of it, supposing $20 is taken out, then obviously we'll be left with only $80 present in the circular flow of income. So from this we understand that leakages actually reduce the circular flow of income, that is value of circular flow of income. So to our first question, the appropriate answer is the first one. The A option is the right option. Our second question is a budget in which revenue is greater than expenditure is called. What do we call the budget where revenue is more than expenditure? Balanced budget, surplus budget, deficit budget, none of the above. Now we have already studied that in balanced budget our revenue is equal to expenditure, receipts are equal to expenditure for the government, and in surplus budget revenue is more than expenditure, that is whatever the government collects as revenue, not all of it is spent, only a part of it is spent, or some part of it is kept by the government with itself. So therefore revenue becomes more than expenditure. And in deficit budget revenue is actually less than expenditure. So these are the three situations that can arise with regard to the nature of budget. So in this case we can see revenue is greater than expenditure, and it is this one, the second case, that is that of surplus budget, where revenue is more than expenditure. So a budget in which revenue is greater than expenditure is called therefore a surplus budget. Our third question is deficit budget. Deficit budget acts as and you have to find which of the terms is appropriate here on the circular flow of income, whether it acts as leakage, or it acts as injection, or neither, or none of the above. So what is the impact of deficit budget on the circular flow of income? Now we know deficit budget actually means your revenue is less than your expenditure. That actually means what you have collected in terms of revenue, okay, you are spending more than that, your expenditure is more than that, and the source for this additional expenditure is actually for example, it can be borrowed by the government, or they may go for issuance of new currency, okay. So what happens in this case is that additional amount comes from outside of the circular flow. For example, when we have revenue is equal to expenditure, it is our circular flow when revenue is equal to our expenditure. But if a government now borrows money and puts that money in the circular flow. Obviously, if it was earlier $100, now government is putting 20 more dollars, so it becomes 120 now. So there is increase in the circular flow of income, and that very increase is called as injection. So you're injecting these $20 into your circular flow of income. So deficit budget actually acts as injection on the circular flow of income. Our third question is impact of borrowing by government from external sector on the volume or value of circular flow of income will be. Now again, we have discussed this very thing, that there is something we call a circular flow of income. Okay, already a particular amount is flowing between different sectors. Now what the government is doing is it is borrowing something from outside and putting that money into the circular flow. So what will its impact be? So one is increase, second is decrease, neither increase nor decrease, and none of the above. Now obviously we can understand, if we had earlier $100, now government brought $20 further from outside because it borrowed money from external sector. Therefore our total circular flow will be now earlier 100 plus new 20 that have been borrowed from external sector. So it will, therefore the circular flow will increase, therefore. So this will be our appropriate option to the question. Our last question is the impact of surplus budget. We are talking about surplus budget over here, on the volume or value of circular flow will be. How is surplus budget going to impact the value of circular flow of income? Now we first need to keep an eye on surplus budget. Its meaning, surplus budget means when your revenue is more than your expenditure. So that actually means that the government receives more and it spends less. Okay, it receives more but it spends less. For example, it is receiving $100, then it is only spending supposing $80. Okay, so and $20 it is keeping with itself. That is our surplus. Okay, and when government receives 100 but it puts back into the circular flow only 80, then obviously what is going to happen is that the circular flow of income is going to, it is going to decrease. So we are having circular flow taking place. Okay, and some part of the circular flow first goes to the government sector. Okay, and then it comes back to the circular flow between household sector and business sector. Now supposing government received $100, but it is giving back only $80 to the circular flow. So earlier, supposing it was $500 circular flow, and from 500 now 100 goes to the government. Okay, so here we have only 400, therefore for time being, but $80 come back to the circular flow, so we have only 480 now into the circular flow, and we have a reduction of $20 in the circular flow. It is this $20 which the government kept with itself. Therefore what will happen to the value of this circular flow is that it will decrease by the amount that was kept by the government with itself. So I hope that you have nicely understood these issues that we have discussed in these objective type multiple choice questions, and I hope that you will appreciate these lessons. Do subscribe to my YouTube channel, Macroeconomics. Thank you very much.